to serve the law and order, to enforce the laws of our country. And we also had time to review at the sub-county level within Matungulu the programs that are going on here to ensure that our sub-county is safe and people are able to go about their businesses in an orderly manner and without the fear of criminals. Of course, we have had occasion also to review our ongoing program to clamp down on drugs, alcohol, and substance abuse. And we are happy with the work going on here in Matungulu sub-county and Machakos County in general. And I think across the country, because this morning we have visited a few other counties. We've been to Tharaka Nithi, Embu, Kitui, and later on we'll be going to Nairobi, Kajiado, and so forth and so on. And our experience so far is that the national campaign to rid our country from drugs and substance abuse and illicit alcohol is progressing well. I commend all the teams. And here in Machakos, I commend the county security and intelligence team. Here in Matungulu, I commend the sub-county security and intelligence team of Matungulu for a good job in that front. Across the country, we have been able to shut down and destroy 12 distilleries that were operating outside the law and that were manufacturing dangerous drinks across the country. 12 illegal and illegally operating distilleries have been shut down and their capacity to produce has been disabled. Across the country also in the 47 counties so far since this operation began on 7th of March this year, we have been able also to shut down 4,800 premises that have been selling alcohol. They had been licensed by the various county governments, but the licenses have been revoked because those premises were operating within the prohibited proximity to basic learning institutions. As you are aware, the Alcoholic Drink Control Act prohibits the selling of alcohol, whether licensed or not, within 300 meters to a basic learning institution. So we have been very keen and enforced that law, and we have shut down 4,800 establishments across the 47 counties for violating the proximity rule to save our children the menace of influence and exposure into alcohol and other substances at an early age. We are doing this for the country. We are not doing it for any other reason. And going forward, no license of whatever type will have any validity in the territory of Kenya if it is within 300 meters to a basic learning institution. And that includes private and public schools alike. Also across the country, we've been able to shut down over 9,000 facilities or premises that were operating without any form of license. And we are not going to allow those premises to resume that illegal activity. The crackdown and the enforcement measure program continues. I have said we have a 25-point plan to deal with this problem nationally. And these are just some of the measures we are taking. We have shut down nearly 300 illegally operating chemists because we also discovered part of the drug problem is drugs that are prescription drugs, which are being used in the drug industry, but they are being dispensed in chemists, be outside the law, or even by chemists which are operating outside the law. With the support of the poisons board, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, we have been able to shut down approximately 400 such premises. We have also shut down 290 agrovets because we also discovered that some of the animal or veterinary drugs are being sold and mixed with other substances to be able to produce some of the most fatal narcotic drugs. So again, we are cracking down on agrovets that are operating outside the law, and which obviously, if they are outside the law, chances are that they could be used to perpetuate the drug problem across the country. So far, I think we are doing a good job here in Matungulu. I think the programs, national security programs here are going on well. However, I have directed the team here in Matungulu under the supervision of the county team from Machakos to also make sure that Tala town, because of its proximity to Nairobi, is not being or should not be used as a hideout for criminals who may be running away from some of the operations we are carrying out in Nairobi, especially in the Eastlands area. So we are working on flushing out any criminal elements, drug peddlers, and people who are selling or consuming shisha and other prohibited substances in the country. And we are also, I've also directed the sub-county team under the supervision of the county team to also check whether some of our children, especially from Nairobi or even from Machakos, whether in this town there could be a possibility, because again of the proximity of our children being exposed to alcohol or dangerous and harmful practices, including child pornography and also trafficking in children. So good people, ladies and gentlemen, we are good to go. We are not going to remove our foot from the pedal. We will have to cleanse our country from the curse of addiction and drugs. No community, no society aspires to be a great society if a good proportion of its able-bodied, young and energetic population has been degraded by alcohol and drugs. Other than that, we are also enforcing other measures, as I've said, to combat other security threats, including land fraud. And we have a few instances we are investigating of people who may have been committing land fraud, and we are going to take stern and painful action on anybody who could be facilitating land fraud or even encroachment of public lands by land grabbers, and will punish everybody, private people, government officials, land officials, administrators, police officers, any person, members of the public, anyone who is aiding, abetting, or in any way contributing to the detriment of our national security is on our radar and will not escape. Naomba niachie hapo kwa siku ya leo. Tumekuwa hapa kwa sababu ya kushughulikia mambo ya usalama wetu hapa. Tumekaa na wenzetu hapa katika hii kaunti ndogo ya Matungulu ikiongozwa na naibu wa kamishna wa kaunti hapa, na vilevile tumekuja na timu yetu ya kaunti ya Machakos ambayo inaongozwa na county commissioner wa Machakos. Na hivi sasa tunaangazia mji huu wetu wa Tala na sehemu ya Matungulu, na tunasema ya kwamba ile bidii inaendelea hapa ya kukabiliana na madawa ya kulevya, pombe haramu na masuala ingine ya kiusalama inaendelea vizuri, lakini vile vile tunachunguza kama kuna uwezekano kuna wahalifu ambao labda wanajificha hapa wakitorokea operations za Nairobi, na vile vile tunashuku kuna wahalifu wengine ambao wako hapa ambao labda wangetaka kutorokea Nairobi kama mambo hapa itachacha. So we will make sure the teams here and the teams in Nairobi work in hand to make sure there is no hiding place for criminals. And we are also very keen to make sure that Tala, because of its proximity to Nairobi, is not being used to harm our children through harmful practices, including exposure to alcohol before the legal age, exposure to narcotic drugs, or even child pornography. Asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki. Have a good afternoon.